And Christie out with a new book this week. It's called Let Me Finish: Trump, the Kushners Ban in New Jersey, and the Power of In-Your-Face Politics. Welcome back, Chris. You know, we just heard Pierre say there's no direct charge of collusion in this latest indictment. And you write in the book that the campaign wasn't organized enough to collude.
No, listen, this was a campaign where folks really, at the very top of the campaign, for most of it, had no experience, George, in national politics or even local politics. And so they were just trying to figure out how to get field people hired in places like Pennsylvania, let alone try to run some kind of Tom Clancy operation.
They seemed willing to entertain information coming from the Russians, the Trump Tower meeting. And given that, how do you explain the wealth of lies about contacts with Russia?
Well, look, George, as I say in the book, one of the president's biggest problems has been that some of the people he's surrounded himself with have just not been good people. You know, folks like Mike Flynn, folks like Steve Bannon, folks, you know, that all throughout the book you see, Omarosa, for God's sake, being in the White House. I mean, these are just bad personnel choices, and I don't think the president understood as well as he does now that bad personnel choices lead to bad results.
Talk about not understanding. You'd write of a scene inside, I think it was the Oval Office, the dining room off the Oval Office. You're having lunch with the president and Jared Kushner after he's fired Michael Flynn. They thought that would end the Russia investigation?
Yeah, I said, you know, listen, Flynn's the only guy who spoke to the Russians, apparently, and he said, so, you know, I think this is going to end it, and I just laughed. And I said, Mr. President, it's unfortunate that I have to tell you this, but having done this myself for a living, we're going to be talking about this on Valentine's Day, February 18. They laughed out loud, and Jared told me I was crazy. But they had no experience in government and no experience in this. And what I was trying to do was help them and say, listen, you guys need to get ready for a war. I turned out I undersold it, George. We're going to be talking about it on Valentine's Day 2019, not just 2018. And I think they just didn't understand that, and that's detailed pretty well in the book.
So overnight, Howard Schultz thinking of running as an independent. We've got probably 20 Democrats looking to run. Some concern inside Republican circles that maybe President Trump is vulnerable to primary challenge. Do you think so?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all, George. Not now, not the way things look to me. I think he's going to run for re-election and run for renomination. And I look at the Howard Schultz stuff is some of the best news that Donald Trump's gotten politically in a long time. Coming in second only to Hillary Clinton saying she's not closing the door. I mean, if you have a Hillary Clinton candidacy and a Howard Schultz as an independent, you know what's going to happen. We saw what Ross Perot did to George H.W. Bush in 1992. He was right of center, and he took a lot of votes from George H.W. Bush, and many people think that led to Bill Clinton's election. I think Howard Schultz would do much the same thing to whoever the Democratic nominee is. I think it's good news for the president.
Chris Christie, thanks very much.
Thank you.